you need to maintain an abundant mindset. Oftentimes what happens is, a guy gets rejected and they're just like, oh no, I'll never love again, or even worse, some girl gives him a little bit of attention and now he's hooked for life. Hey, what's up guys? Dale Valor here for Modern Valor Dating, and this is going to be a serious topic, so I thought that maybe I should sit down for this one, and maybe you should too. But anyhow, what we're going to be talking about today is handling rejection, all right? So, there's a lot of times that, you're talking to somebody and they just blow you out, or they say something harsh to you or something like that, and it sucks, like nobody wants to feel the sting of rejection, but the thing is, there's ways to combat that, there's ways to overcome it, and that's what we're going to talk about today. I got the top 5 tips on how to handle rejection. We're going to get into it right now. Let's go. Tip number 1, it's gonna happen. All right, listen, I don't care if you're the best PUA in the world with just a boat full of game. I don't care who you are, all right? If you're a Hollywood celebrity, it doesn't matter. You faced rejection. It's gonna happen, all right? It's inevitable. You may as well just accept the fact that you are going to be rejected, all right? When you learn that you're going to be rejected, you know that it's inevitable, it's gonna happen, it's easier to face than just like, I hope I don't ever get rejected. Especially if you're new to game, understand that you are gonna face a mountain of rejection, especially early on, all right? Look, I look at it like this, man. A baseball player. If a baseball player, when he's up at bat, if he fails 7 out of 10 times, he's a really good player. All right? That's him failing 7 out of 10 times. It means he's hitting 300. It's a good batting average. All right? So, as good as 300 may be, he's still either striking out or grounding out or whatever 7/10 of the time, all right? If he walked to the plate and was like, I sure hope I don't ever strike out, ever, well, he's never going to be a professional baseball player because that's just unrealistic, all right? So understand it's going to happen and just know that you're going to be facing it, all right? We're going to hop into tip number 2. Let's go. Tip number 2, don't take it personal. All right. Now, we've already talked about the fact that it's going to happen. Now, once it happens, now what? All right. Do not take it personal. All right. Understand that, there's a couple of different factors at play. 1, she's just not interested. Or 2, it could be your game. All right. Now, the good thing about both of those is, if you're just not her type, all right, that no matter how much game you have, she's just not going to be into it, all right? That's like you walking down the aisle of the grocery store. You've got your favorite cereal. Are you grabbing every box of cereal that just because you don't want the other boxes of cereal to feel bad, you don't want to reject them, so let's just buy all the cereal. No, you go and you pick out the cereal you want and then you dip, right? This is no different. If you're not her flavor, if you're not her favorite kind of cereal, she might not be into it, all right? So it was never going to happen anyway, all right? Now, the second part of it is, if it's because your game just isn't strong enough, all right, cool. Let's continue to work on that. Watch the videos on this YouTube channel. Learn from people who know what they're talking about. Up your game. Get out there. Get up to the plate a few more times. Take a few more reps. You know what I mean? Get out there and really start to learn game. All right? You're not going to learn game strictly by watching YouTube videos. I say this as somebody who does YouTube videos. Take the information and go out and apply it. You're never going to learn everything that you need to know by just watching these videos. It takes actual effort to go out there and make it happen, all right? That's the quickest, best way for you to learn is get out and apply the things that you're learning, all right? So now, the next time you approach a girl, like the girl that rejected you, your odds and your chances are a lot much better, all right? So now we're gonna hop into tip number 3. Let's go. Tip number 3, reverse engineer it, okay? What I mean by that is, look, in the last tip, we talked about the 2 things that kind of come into play. Either you're not her flavor or your game isn't strong enough. All right, now if it comes down to the second one and your game isn't strong enough, you're going to have to put in the work. We already talked about this. At some point, you're going to start seeing successes. All right, reverse engineer that and also reverse engineer your rejections. What is it that you're doing on a consistent basis that is not getting you the results that you want? Or when you start seeing results, what are you doing that is yielding those results? So that way you know how to start getting rid of the things that don't work and keeping the things that do. Now, the quickest and easiest way of doing this is work with somebody. Work with a coach that knows what they're talking about. Work with a coach that has been through this a million times. Work with somebody who can stand back, watch what you're doing, and tell you, hey man, when you approach, make sure you're not looking at your shoes. Hey man, when you approach, project your voice a little more. Hey man, when you approach, get your damn hands out of your pocket. Things like that. Giving that critical, honest feedback is what's going to help you increase your skills way more rapidly than you doing it by yourself, right? But if that's not accessible to you and you have to do it yourself, all that means is that you got to do it more. You got to take a few more swings at it, man. You got to get out there and open a gang of sets to start seeing what's working and what isn't, and reverse engineering why. Why did this work? Why did this not work? And start putting those things together to really make your game stronger. All right, we're going to hop into tip number 4. Let's go. Tip number 4, she just might be blind. All right, what I mean by that is, once you start being able to demonstrate your value and you're showing who you are and you're communicating all the intrinsic values that you have and all the value that you bring to the table by being a high status, high value type of guy, which if you don't know how to do that, we have a stupid amount of videos on that. So go check that out and see what I'm talking about, all right? But here's the deal. If you're communicating that effectively and it's just not landing, all right, then here's the deal. She may not be able to recognize value when she sees it, all right? So look, the way I like to put it is like this. Say I have a Lamborghini, right? And I'm trying to give it to you. I'm like, hey man, look, I got this Lamborghini and I don't want it anymore. It's just not practical for me. And you know what? You're my boy. I'm just going to give it to you. Here's the keys. I'm ready to sign the title right now. Let's go. And you're like, well, here's the thing. I really don't want to pay insurance on a Lamborghini. And, I really prefer minivans, and it really doesn't get very good gas mileage, so I think I'll pass. All right, so here's the deal. Just because you didn't want it does not make the Lamborghini less valuable, right? It's a $250,000 car, all right? It doesn't make it any less valuable because you didn't want it. It just shows that you don't know what you're doing. And you can't appreciate something good that came your way, something of value that didn't resonate with you, all right? So just because you're a dummy doesn't make this car any less valuable, all right? So that's what I mean by she might be blind. She may not be able to grasp the value that you're laying out. People lose out on good deals all the time. It happens every day, all right? And just because those people lose out doesn't mean that the person who's trying to make the sale is going to lose, because they're going to sell it to somebody else. that person lost out. That's just somebody else's game. That's it. All right? So we're going to hop into tip number 5. Let's get it. Tip number 5, have an abundant mindset. Okay? This is so cliche and so like PUA related, just dogma. But just because it's dogma doesn't make it not true. All right? You need to maintain an abundant mindset. Oftentimes what happens is, a guy gets rejected and they're just like, oh no, I'll never love again, Or even worse, some girl gives him a little bit of attention and now he's hooked for life. He's just like, oh man, I don't know when this is ever going to happen again. So I better jump on this and cling on with, with both hands and never let it go, And unfortunately, that's many, if not most guys' mentality. Treat me however you want as long as I get scraps of your attention. And so the thing is that with an abundant mindset, what that says is, look, there's mad options out here for you. Just because one didn't get down, that's okay. There's a line a million long. It's like you're taking numbers at the DMV or something like that. You just call up the next number. That's it. Number 1, oh, you're not down, kick rocks. All right, number 2, not down, ah well. Number 3, not down, so what? Number 4, okay, you want to get down? All right, we're closing up shop. Well, we'll see you guys again tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, man. There's anytime that you go anywhere and there's just a mad abundance of girls, being rejected is not a big deal, all right? And you know what? As I'm thinking about this right now, I'm just going to throw out there a little bonus tip. Get this idea of harsh rejections out of your head. I see so many guys get scared to approach because, what if I get slapped? What if she throws a drink in my face? You know what? I can't even think of a time that I've ever seen that happen, ever. We go out every weekend, all right? We go out coaching every single weekend. And we've been doing this for a long time. And I've been out even before coaching, for over 10 years. And I cannot think of a time that I was with anybody that I saw somebody get slapped or a drink thrown in their face or them calling up, her boyfriend and his 50 cousins to come, curb stomp you. You know what I mean? Get that idea out of your head. It's not going to happen. And odds are if it does happen, it's because you did something way over the top. And I mean, it has to be way over the top for something like that to happen, man. Most girls aren't trying to cause a scene. They're not going to cuss you out. Most people were raised to be polite in social situations. They're not looking to bruise your ego. They're not looking to, make a fool out of you in front of everybody. They're not looking to do that, man. So get that idea out of your head if it's in there. It's not going to happen. I promise you. All right? You may hear a wayward story of somebody did something this one time. Well, you know what? I've also heard stories of people getting hit by lightning. I've also heard stories of people, winning the Powerball lottery and winning $300 million. You know what I mean? So, but that hasn't happened to anybody I know. You know what I mean? So just get that foolish idea out of your head, man. Do not let that be an obstacle of being scared of something that's not going to happen. All right? So I hope you enjoyed that little bonus tip. So listen, guys, appreciate you watching the channel, watching this video. If you're not a subscriber to this channel, make sure you are. We don't want you to miss anything that we drop. Everything we drop here is gold. I promise you. It's worth every bit of money that you put into this. Now, that didn't come across right. But anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. So, listen, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. Please share it with somebody that you know needs to hear this. And I know that you know people, all right? So, See you next time. Dale Valor, Modern Valor Dating. Salute.